How's everybody doing? Hey, so today I actually had a suggestion or request from my good friend Nell, and she had said, hey, how about a short sequence before bed? And I think that's an awesome idea. So I'm going to try to keep it short. I know I'm not very good at keeping my promises, but I will try to keep this one down. What I'll probably do is, at the end of it, I do have a pranayama, a breathing technique that can be helpful if you're ready for bed and aren't feeling doing the breathing thing. Don't do it. So I am going to start with a little bit of breathing, but just a very short breath technique, and then we'll get into it. So the other thing is with this, you don't really need any particular props, but I did want to show you really quick. There's one posture I'm going to offer you dear, and I know a lot of you love that pose. But you can use or not use a bolster, and I know a lot of you practicing at home probably don't have a bolster. So one thing you can do, and this can work for you for this, but also anytime somebody says to you, hey, grab your bolster. So if you have some towels or blankets that you can fold up, so you can make kind of your own little bolster. So I have a couple that are pre-folded, so you just kind of want to create some folded items that look like this. And so if you create 2 or 3 or however many you need, and again, I'm using the yoga blankets, but you can really do this with whatever. And a good kind of rule of thumb is the width should be maybe about the width of your mat. So maybe about the width of your mat. And then in terms of, I should say length, with width, a good 6 to 8 inches. So that when you're all said and done, you have what could equate to a bolster type of situation. So something to keep in mind. One other thing, sometimes we talk about using blocks, and again, a lot of people don't have blocks. So you can also kind of make your own little block with one of your blankets or one of your towels. And again, this is just one of those things where just kind of using your own discretion, fold it up so that it creates something akin to a block, a stack. So again, you can do this with towels or blankets, whatever. So anyway, I just want to throw that out to you. You can really pretty much do this without this, but it's a good idea to have this kind of at the ready, especially if you're practicing at home and you're doing any kinds of restorative or yin, or even just to give yourself a little bit of extra self-care. So that's that. We're gonna get started. First thing, I'm just gonna suggest you come to a comfortable seat. Could be cross-legged, could be sitting on your heels, could have your legs out, whatever. So I'm just going to start out with just a little bit of breathing. I'm going to start out sitting on my shins, but again, wherever it's going to be comfortable for you to start. And then I'm just going to take a few moments just to recognize our breath, and then also to create a sense of ease in our body. So I would like you to maybe close your eyes. Take a moment to just kind of roll your shoulders back, let go of tension in the neck, just kind of let your hands rest. And in doing so, see if you can release any residual tension in your fingers. And then bring your awareness to your face and see if you can release or brighten up around the eyes so you're not squeezing shut. You're just relaxed. Let your jaw relax. You can even let your teeth part, and maybe even just touch the tip of your tongue to the top palate of your mouth. Just settle here for a few moments. Many of us are dealing with lots of stuff right now. There's not only the potential need to take care of family members, some of us have become teachers in our spare time while also trying to do other jobs, and some of us are just dealing with just plain old anxiety and stress. So this is meant to be a practice of self-care for you. It's so important right now. We can't help others if we can't help ourselves. So see if you can't take a few moments each day to give yourself this little bit of self-care. Take a moment here. It's the end of the day, and I think one of the best things you can do for yourself at the end of each day is recognize something that is just really good, or something that you feel really grateful for in your life. It could be something that happened today, or it could be just recognizing the gifts that you do have. Maybe that becomes part of your intention. Try to bring your drishti, try to bring your focus to something that And it may be kind of hard to find right now, but something that feels really good in your life. See if you can shift into that perspective. And then bring your awareness to anything else that you can ease in your physical body. And then start to notice your breath. Start breathing in and out, maybe through your nostrils, if that's comfortable. If that's not, if there's blockage there, certainly in your mouth. But if you can breathe through your nose, just start to find that rhythmic inhale and exhale. And see if you can make the inhale and exhale about the same. So you could count the number of beats, something like inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Whatever number is yours. You don't want to be holding at either end at this point. We just want it to be very fluid and rhythmic. Keeping that sense of softness around the heart, on brightness around the eyes and face and ears, ease in fingers and toes. And your next breath, continuing, same length on your inhale, but on your exhale, maybe you add a beat. So if you're 4 on your inhale, make your exhale 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just do that for a few rounds of breath. And maybe in this next breath, maybe add one more beat to the exhale. So again, it could be 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhaling and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhaling. Let's do that for a few rounds of breath. By increasing, lengthening your exhale, you start to activate your parasympathetic, the rest and relax nervous system. Just another breath like this. Let your eyes softly open. And we're just going to start to slowly make our way into the practice, which is just going to start out in hands and knees, and you need to certainly place one of your towels or blankets under your knees. It's going to start out in table pose. And take your hands, fingers spread wide. Knees are beneath your hips, wrists beneath your shoulders. We're just going to do what's called Chakravakasana, which is basically table to child's pose flow. Very simple, very easy flow. So as you inhale, just kind of let your chest come a little forward. So just kind of lengthening your spine. And then as you exhale, round your spine and take your hips back towards your heels for child's pose. You can let your forearms and elbows come down, let your forehead touch to the earth. Inhaling, come back up. When you get to the top, you might make that little cow shape by lifting your chest and tailbone. And as you exhale, round your spine and send your hips back to your heels. Again, just releasing towards the earth. Just doing that 3 more times. Very slow with your breath. Inhaling up. Top, lifting as you exhale, rounding, sinking back, pulling in at your belly. Not working too hard here. Remember, we're trying to create ease in our body. So we inhaling, all the work is done. Now it's time to really let ourselves begin to move into quiet. So try to make this be very easy, not trying to engage too much, just kind of following along with the rhythm of your breath. Next time you exhale and come back into child's pose, we're just going to hang out there for a little while. So you can adjust your knees if they feel like they need to be a little wider or a little closer. You can take your hands back. If you would like, you could place your forehead on a block if it's not touching down on the earth. And again, arms can be wherever. You can bring your elbows back to your knees. You can take your arms back towards your feet. This can be a really nice, nurturing, relaxing shape to be in. Again, forehead, earth, block, blanket, towel, wherever, just so that you can rest here for about 3 or 4 more breaths. See if you can find all that space in your back body. See if you can breathe across your upper back. Create release in your fingers. It's always nice, sometimes just rock a little bit. Child's pose is
Really a nurturing pose for ourselves. It's in this place where we're as close as we can get to ourselves. We really feel our heart wrapping ourselves around ourselves. Notice any more quiet that you can give your body. Just taking one more round of breath. And when you're ready, you can start to come up. So just so you know, if you want to lengthen this practice out a little bit, you could absolutely pause and just stay in some of these shapes. If you want to move it towards almost like a yin type of practice, feel free to pause the video and come into the shape for a little bit longer. So the next shape we're going to come into is actually half heart melting pose, or Ardha Anahatasana. So we're going to just keep your hips up over your knees. Just going to start to walk the arms out in front of you. You're going to take your right arm and just cross it so that you can let your forehead rest, and then reach the left arm out. And you want to get your chest to sink down towards the ground. So we're getting into that upper chest and shoulder. So if it feels better to take that left arm out a little wider, you want to see if you can get the chest to sink towards the earth. Keep lifting the hips towards the sky. This is meant to be a thoracic, upper thoracic back bend. It's helping to sort of balance out if you happen to be sitting today for a long period of time. That tendency to kind of slouch or roll the shoulders in and over our hearts. This is meant to be a way to create some space. So just let the breath come up from the ground into the center of your heart. As you exhale, send the breath out through the upper back into the sky as you connect a little bit further in towards the earth, feeling that strong, nurturing connection. I'm just going to take about another couple of breaths here. Remember, if you want to stay here a little longer, just pause the video. Find that fullness. See if you can stay with that breath that we established in the beginning of this practice. And then just begin to slide that left hand back under your shoulder. Press yourself up to hands and knees. Round your spine back towards child's pose for a moment. Inhale, come back up to hands and knees. We're just going to go to the other side. Just going to start to walk your arms out. Left arm's going to cross, right arm's going to lengthen out in front of you so that you're getting into now the right upper chest shoulder. Again, just letting the belly drop. Just apparel maintenance. And then just set yourself here. Taking the time to make the adjustments so that you can hang out here for a few moments of breath, space. Finding quiet. Again, come to that extended exhale, breathing pattern if it's comfortable for you. Try to just let yourself flow with that breath. Scanning your body and looking for places where you can offer, invite in complete ease and peace. Your tissues, your mind, it's all connected. Just another couple breaths here. Gently lifting those hips up towards the sky as your chest, your heart sinks towards the ground. Take one more breath. Slowly begin to take the right hand under your shoulder. Just press yourself up to hands and knees. And again, this might feel like a little cat-cow movement feels good, or just child's pose. Just giving yourself a few moments to settle back. And then you can inhale and come up. And we're just going to come to a seat so you can get there however you like. For this next shape, you may want to be sitting on something, so you could use a block or a blanket, folded blanket or bolster, whatever. We're going to come into just a simple butterfly shape. Nice little hip opener. So potentially having blocks if you have pretty sensitive inner thighs. You're just gonna take the soles of the feet together. And again, you may wanna place blocks under your knees, you may not. Just gonna sit up really tall. Heels come in comfortably close. If you feel like you wanna take the legs out a little wider, that's fine. You can either just stay up nice and tall, or you can begin to just come forward. Start thinking about tilting at the pelvis so that there's that little movement forward with a long spine. And then once you get where you're not gonna go any further, you can let your hands come down. You could certainly interlace them. Try not to yank or pull. See if you can just allow yourself to drop in. Your elbows can bend out towards the inner calves. Just let your forehead drop, chin towards chest. Find the breath traveling up and down that back body. Again, try to create ease in your face, jaw. Again, if you want to stay here longer, please feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, you need to come up. Just lengthen your spine on the way up, extending out. See if you can really sort of draw your knees down as you lengthen forward for a moment. And just start to come back. And just take your hands under your knees and gently pull the knees up towards each other. Take a moment to lengthen your legs out. Point, flex your feet, some circles. And this is the next shape is one that, as I mentioned, you may or may not want to bolster or your homemade bolster. So if you have a bolster, you could use one, or this any shape, or use your blankets. And again, you may decide you don't need them. So you're just gonna sit here on your mat with your feet kind of wide, and you can have your bolster, if you're gonna use it, over off to your right side. Just let your hands rest back for a moment, lifting your chest, slide your shoulders down, and then just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Just easy, breath focused, side to side twist, movement through the hips. When the knees go over to the right the next time, notice your left knee is about on the inside of the sole of your right foot. You're creating this sort of figure 4 shape. If you are going to use a bolster, you'll take that bolster or blankets and you're just going to spin around a little bit so you can see. You're just going to take the short end of whatever you've got your stack of blankets or your bolster right up against your hip. You'll start to pivot towards that bolster. Your hands can line up or frame up that bolster. And then this is where you would decide whether or not you need it. You can either stay here, just lock your arms and just breathe during the twist, or you can just slowly begin to come down onto whatever you're using, your support. And just feel your left shoulder relax. So if you're finding there's a lot of tension in your shoulder, just slide your left hand, both arms actually can go right underneath the support. Or you can also just move the arm out to wherever's gonna feel comfortable. And again, we're just gonna hang out here for a few breaths. If you decide that you're feeling like you wanna stay here, please feel free. Just gently breathing. Full inhales and exhales. Try to bring the breath up and down the spine. Take one more round of breath. Big inhale, side out. Start to slide your hands back under your shoulders and gently press yourself up. Take that left arm around behind you. Just let your legs come up and over. And we're just gonna go right on over to the other side. So potentially taking your stack, your bolster, and then again, just creating that figure 4 shape of the knee, legs, and then just start to twist. Take your time here, breathing in, drawing in at your belly to lengthen, and maybe coming down, maybe staying up. So whatever you need. And then just settle in here, breathe into the space, your spine. Again, make sure this right shoulder, both of your shoulders feel comfortable. So you can let your elbows kind of slide out, take your hands underneath. Feel that right shoulder dropping in towards the earth. Really letting yourself rest into whatever you're using. Again, if you don't need the bolster, whatever, just as a support, just get rid of it. I'm just going to be here for a couple more breaths. Start to take one more big inhale. Inside. Slide your hands back under your shoulders. Begin to press yourself up slowly. Take the right hand behind you. Windshield wiper those legs. The final shape we're going to come into is Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall, or sometimes known as waterfall pose. So all you're going to do is come up to the wall. You can just have your butt right on the ground, or you can sit on something, a blanket block, bolster, whatever. You just need to take your hips as close to the wall as you can get them. This can be a little bit of a maneuver. And then you're just going to take the legs up. You may have to make some shifts. And then just settle here. Pretty basic. You can keep your legs straight if it feels good and you need to or want to. Take your legs wide. And just settle here for really as long as you want. I'm not going to stay here super long, so that just for the sake of keeping the video a little shorter. If you're feeling like you just want to hang out here, this can be a really nice way at the end of your day to just release all this stuff. Your legs, if you've been standing or on your feet. This is going to really help to relax the legs. It also helps with the idea of creating peace in your body. I should have mentioned earlier, if you have an eye pillow, you could always place an eye pillow here. If not, just make sure your eyes are just relaxed. So just going to take another breath, and again, if you want to stay, please do. You're going to slowly begin to come out. So you can either stay watching. I'm going to give you a little bit of a breathing technique that you can use. You can do this seated or however you like, or maybe you're ready for bed. So if you want to hang out, just come on into a shape that's comfortable. And we're just going to do what's called the pranayama, or bee's breath. So basically, you need to block your ears. So typically we talk about placing your thumbs in your ears and then placing your second finger over your eyes. That helps to relax the eyes. Your pointer finger is right on your forehead and your ring finger is right outside of your nostrils or on your sinuses. But you want to be able to block your ears. If you're not feeling like you want to touch your face, you can just stick your fingers in your ears. You want to completely block the ears. And then all you're going to do here is begin to breathe, first of all, just full breaths. And then on the next exhale, you're just going to hum. You're going to make like a buzzing sound. So as you inhale, it's a full inhale. And then on the exhale, inhaling. finish, you can just kind of settle in. Take a few breaths. Nice, easy, rhythmic breaths. Maybe it's time for sleep. One more last moment to remember or recognize that maybe that thing that you placed in the heart at the beginning of practice, when you're feeling grateful for. Take the palms together to create that seal. Lift your gaze inward. And just remember that it's right here that we come together. We may be physically separate, but we're all together in our hearts.